Let's grow. Oh, look at those pumpkins. Look, there's another one there. Look, look, look. Oh, and another one there. Wow, there are so many. Oh, let me check the tomato. Wow, how many? Look at this. They are growing everywhere. We only planted these a month and a half ago.
So look at these guys. I mean, we had a massive grow. Tomatoes have been growing really well. We never had such a quick grow. I mean, we had some pretty good grow in the greenhouse, but over here, it just went so quickly, and even some of them has snapped their canes. We tried to tie them up as much as we could, but I think we were away for a week. And then, you know, we came back and some of them grow so much that we didn't have time to take all the suckers away, and, you know, they started to grow like a bush. I mean, obviously, you know, it could be because of the sun.
Yeah, don't you think it's because of the sun or because of all the trees that we have up there, and the plot over there dries really quickly?
I think it's a combination. I think is how much this part of the allotment retains the water. Sometimes we don't even need to water it. You know, we have the other one at the top, which is completely dry. If we could water it every day, probably it would be fine. But this side here, sometimes, you know, you see some of the plants maybe at the back, some of the pumpkins needs a tiny bit more water than up here. I was a bit worried, to be honest, because I didn't know if the quantity of the soil would be enough, and also I was worried about them being too cramped in a smaller space compared to here, you know. And actually, some of the pumpkins here start to go like a snake, you know. Probably because this one is more like a climbing, you know, variety. It's actually he has started strangling other plants there. One of the calendulas here, it's been a little bit affected. We also have our amaranth that has been growing really well. Maybe we left it a little bit too long because the amaranth usually needs to be harvested a little bit earlier, because otherwise it gets a little bit tougher. But still, we're gonna do a video on explaining exactly how the amaranth works, and if, for the people that are interested. The peppers are doing really well. On this side, better than in the other parts of the plot here. I think because of the area next to the iris have a population of slugs, which we haven't tackled as much yet.
Why is that?
I think they have a natural hiding place, and I think they have shelter from the sun. It's been extremely hot here in UK, like the last month, even more, right?
Yeah, month
July
and a half,
or something, right?
month and a half now. It's been
exactly.
hot all the time. I mean, we were putting the yeast mixture.
Yeah.
But what was happening? We caught a lot. We caught a lot
at the beginning, and I think at one point we were like, because of the plants, you know, at the beginning we had problem with growth. I mean, they were completely obliterated, and they were not even having time and energy to grow, because the slugs would just eat them and then, you know, damage them to the point that they didn't have time to grow. So we replaced some of them and applied the slur more often, and then eventually they pass that stage where they can survive even if they get like a couple of leaves eaten, you know. But I think one of the main reasons is that most of our traps have been pushed, and, like, you know, we will come back to the plot and find the traps completely upside down, and all the liquid it was completely gone. And then we've been going a little bit crazy, trying to figure out what was the reason, you know. We had the idea of monitoring this the animal activity at night, so we bought this night camera. He also works during the day. He has a sensor, like a motion sensor, so you see whenever something is passing by, you know, it just starts recording. We thought, like, let's put the camera and see, maybe we're gonna find out who's responsible for this.
So we put that camera, and we found out that it was a magpie coming down, and as soon as there was catch in the traps, it will go with a beak, turn the trap upside down and go and eat all of the slugs. And it will go methodically one after the other, and finish the whole thing.
And the thing, it was also during the day. You know, I thought they were coming at night, but actually
it was during the day, which is in a way positive, because that means that the traps worked at least during the night, caught some slugs, and then during the day the magpie was eating them, because he wouldn't turn them upside down if there were no slugs inside, because it's not gonna eat the dough. Because it continues being extremely hot, we stopped a little bit with the traps. Also, at this point, all the plants are quite big, so they cannot be really damaged by the slugs.
Yeah.
So we are letting them be. But you can see some of the peppers next to it are still being eaten. I keep replacing them. When Marco was saying that the plants were getting obliterated in the beginning, the whole line across the irises, we've replaced all the tomatoes and all the peppers. The peppers especially, 2 times, 2 lines of peppers. So this is the line with the irises and the grass, and that's where all of the slugs are hiding. And this side over here, all these peppers that you're seeing there, all of them have been replaced 3 times basically, and they keep getting eaten. If you see the difference between these peppers and the peppers in the middle, have a look.
This one is completely gone.
Yeah, it's gone. If you see the peppers just next to them, that they are actually been planted later, just here, you see how much bigger these are and how much not damaged they are, because they are in the middle. You can see all the marks here, and this had been half eaten, and then he recovered because of the really hot weather. The slug activity is way lower. So, and I try to not water the irises patch too much, because it gives them more incentive to come out. So we got some nice marigolds here. This is like the 4th time I put marigolds in this plot, and these ones look like they're surviving.
Yeah, we weren't so successful on the.
They've been, look here, they've been munched a bit, but the other ones earlier in the season they were completely eaten. Like we will find the little stub here, nothing else left.
You didn't even get to the point to have flowers.
Yeah, one of them had 1 flower and then gone. The other 10, just the leaves straight away gone. Peppers are doing well. On the other side, they are way less affected by slugs. Look at how big these peppers are. And these are way later planted than those ones. Those down there at the edge, next to the irises, were the first one to be planted. These are the last ones to be planted. Look at how big they are.
Yeah.
Comparing to the other ones that are still just trying to flower, you know. I mean, they flowered 2-3 times, but everything got eaten, so then.
Are these what variety of pepper?
I think this and this part, they are small, sweet, pointy peppers, and these are the big red pointy peppers.
Right.
And one of the biggest issues, even though we've cut it back quite a lot, is the blackberry.
I mean, I wouldn't call it an issue, because we really love picking up the berries, but
I've already had like a couple of kilos of blackberries, and I don't know how much you had, but I had already
loads.
A couple of kilos easily.
I mean, look at it.
It's amazing. I haven't cut it for 3 weeks now. Look at what's happening. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And regardless what we do, the shoots keep coming up. Like there's 3 shoots down here. That's the 3rd time I've cut this point here. You cut it, after a bit it comes up again. So it needs to be cut again. And these little branches, as they grow, these are like primary, so basically they're not going to produce any fruit this year, but they're going to be the branches that produce fruit next year. They grow tall, long, and as they go long, then they start coming down.
Yeah.
And by the time they touch the floor, within a couple of weeks, they establish new roots.
They start putting roots
from the tip. They start putting roots, and then another one comes up. So you need to be quite fast.
If you want to propagate it as well, if you have a plant and you want to propagate it, you can use it like we did.
We did it on the top plot with some blackberries that we have, that they are cultivated blackberries and not brambles like these ones that they go wild. You just touch it, it comes off, boop.
So I mean, I'm sure.
So sweet.
I'm sure everybody had a chance to eat blackberries when they were kids, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I love, man.
It's sort of takes me back to when I was a kid.
So sweet. If they come off very easily, like this one, it doesn't come off.
Yeah.
I have to pull it a lot. That will be quite sour. This one.
Oh, give me one as well. Delicious. But also, I think like this part of the plot has been very successful also because of the activity of flowers we have around this area, and all the pumpkins, those massive flowers. You know, like I think the bees have been really busy. The comfrey there, full of bees. You know, have you ever seen them like going They are everywhere. We're gonna put together more Comfrey.
Fertilizer.
Yeah, we already have stored in the shed up there, but we're gonna continue. I mean, you don't really use that much when you adding it to your water. I think is a 1:10 ratio, right? Use like a tiny bit for a liter. You know, you put it in your watering can, and then you just go and we've been doing that actually. Maybe we've been doing more of that. You know.
So the last time we fertilized here was 3 weeks ago, which means that, you know, it's time to do another round. So we do another round today. We got this plot 4 months ago. For the first 2 months we did nothing, and within 3 weeks we prepared everything.
Yeah, man.
And
Turn you around.
from that point that we started till now, 2 months, we have all this massive growth. We started very late. We planted our tomatoes here in the beginning of June, like second week of June, 12th of June, something like that. And we already have tomatoes growing everywhere, and the growth is massive. Pumpkins the same. We plant them even later, I think 17th of June. They're all growing. There's loads of pumpkins. You should see how many pumpkins we have there already growing, and they're not tiny. So down here we have a couple of acorn squashes, I think, the dark green ones. Then we have some, they're still green right now, but they will turn orange. They are stripy orange ones, kind of like Halloween ones. And the smaller ones though. Then we have some watermelon style here. They look like small watermelons, but they are pumpkins or squashes, I don't know exactly what they are. And the huge one down there, that should be the Japanese variety. Forgot the name now. Well, we put it on the comments.
Is the one that likes to...
The one that goes crazy. And for that one, my idea is to put a frame here that we have on the top floor, on the top plot, structure it on the ground and take that vine and try and direct it this way so that it can start growing up.
The metallic structure, yeah.
So they can start growing up this vine. So because it's going around and it's creating a little bit of trouble. I think after we have like 4 or 5 at least big Japanese pumpkins established and start growing, then we can look into how to stop it growing, because we don't want it to take over the whole plot. So
you see this little thing going down. It's a pumpkin putting new roots.
New roots, yeah. Let's see, but for the time being, I'm very happy with the growth.
And what about the small plums there?
They are not the most flavorsome variety, and I don't think they get much better than what they are now. Oops, I dropped one.
Yeah, I mean, they look like ready to eat, probably.
Yeah, this one is quite soft, actually. I'll try and tell you how they taste. This is quite soft. Usually, they're a little bit harder. Look, for me, they're good enough, but we need to net them if we are to take any.
They've been already eaten, like
it was so much.
Lots of them at the top. And I think
it was so much, and there's so many fallen on the ground.
What I would try to do is take some and try to do a plum wine, maybe. I put them into like sugar and spirit, and then maybe we do like
if you can stop me, I'm eating them. You know?
allotment plum wine, you know.
All right. They're a little bit on the not so flavorsome and sweet taste, but for me it's fine. It reminds me of my childhood.
Can you guys tell us what varieties is this, if you know? I mean, they're small. They're quite purplish. Oh, they're about to fall. They're falling.
Yeah, falling because this is ready. It doesn't look that it's ready, but it's ready. This is a little bit soft. This is not that soft, but it's nice.
Yeah, well.
They have a bit of sharp taste, but it doesn't really bother me whatsoever.
Don't you
I kind of like it.
In Greece that people eat alone, something's gonna happen to them?
Oh yeah, because you are handling the camera. You don't want to distract your good work.
They're better than last time I tried them.
Yeah, because now they are more or less ready. The birds get to them much earlier, but they are ready now. And if you see down there, there's so many. So many on the floor. Maybe some of them we can gather them and
yeah, well.
can wash
What
them.
about grapes? So this was inherited by the previous guy.
Same as the trees, but look at these grapes. I've never tried them. I've seen them the previous years as we were passing by the grapes, but I've never really tried them, so I don't know. But they look good, and neighbors said that these grapes are nice. So, but there's nice big branch. There's more on the back, more on the top.
Let me. Wow.
Look at how much grape.
Wow.
There's loads. There's more on this side.
This
More
one they
on the
probably
top.
stay on the
Oh,
green,
yeah.
or like yellowish. Yellowish.
I think they will be white grapes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we are, 2 months adventuring this new plot. We are very happy with the result, growing a lot of sun-loving varieties. It's a novelty for us, so we are really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a good feeling to have a plot that you know, doesn't take too much effort to grow things. I bet you have situations where you've been like thinking like, oh my God, you know, I cannot stand this, you know, it's just too much work and I don't get much results. But look at this, you know, I think you have a...
It's amazing. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, hype the video. We want to see how you're doing with your own plot and your own adventures. It's a very different kind of summer in the UK.
Yeah.
Been very hot the last 2 summers, very dry. So different challenges for all of us,
Yeah.
different opportunities.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like people what they're making with their products, you know, jams, you know, whatever you are doing with your fruit, you know, enjoy making your favorite pasta or your favorite dish, you know, with your harvest, you know. I think this is all about, this is why we're doing this.
Exactly.
And we want to see more.
We are 3 Hats in a Plot.
Yeah.
See you on the next one.
See you soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye.